Hello, and welcome to Workplace Communications. This is a fantastic class that I am really excited about teaching and being with you on your journey as a communicator. Now, everything in this class is set up to help you effectively communicate in your professional life. Everything in this class is set up for that. I absolutely love this class and I have taught it for many, many years. I also work as a consultant in corporate America. So all of the things that you're going to be doing in this class are things that I am doing on a daily basis, creating reports, writing memos, helping companies with their social media. All of that I do on a regular basis. So when we are working together in this class, I want you to know that I'm working with you, giving you practical tips and strategies on things that are actually going on in the workplace and not just things that I've read in a textbook or maybe things I learned when I was in school. All of these things are practical, applicable immediately. You can learn something in our class today and take it right into the workplace immediately. So it's a really cool class to be in, and I absolutely love teaching. I love sharing this information with students. So I'm excited to be a part of your journey these next 8 weeks. I want to give you a few tips to help you be as successful as possible in this class. First of all, our late policy. You'll note by what I posted in our discussion forum, and also it's listed in the syllabus, that work is not accepted late. Okay, it just isn't. That is a policy that Baker College came up with. I was a part of the committee that made that decision, but we made it for two very good reasons. The first reason is that online classes move very, very quickly. Okay? They're only 8 weeks long, and before you know it, this class will be done. So if you start missing assignments thinking, well, I can turn it in late, then things begin to pile up. And before you know it, the class is over and you've missed out. Also, every module in this class builds on the previous one. So you really need to stay current. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is that this class is all about your success in your professional life. And in the professional world, deadlines are very, very serious. For example, I have a friend who is the head of a department. It's a governmental agency. Well, it works for a governmental agency, I should say. They're a contract group. But one time they had an employee who missed a deadline, missed filing some paperwork with the state. She missed it for a very good reason. Her child was in an accident that day and got rushed to the hospital, so she left work and went to join him. Well, unfortunately, the deadline was hard and fast, and the government fined my friend's agency huge amount of money, and they had to appear in court to address why they did not meet a federal guideline, or federal deadline, why they did not meet a federal deadline. They had to go to court for that. And even though it was a very good reason, it didn't matter. Another example for you. A number of years ago, I was doing some consulting for a company, and they missed the deadline because an employee's computer froze up. And rather than him trying to make other arrangements, he spent trying to get his computer up and running, missed the deadline. What ended up happening is the company lost a contract, 20 people had to be laid off as a result. 20 people. Because this deadline was missed, so therefore they didn't get the contract. So deadlines are just really, really serious things, folks. They are extremely serious, whether you are in the workplace or doing other things. You need to meet your obligations. So that's why Baker put this no work turned in late policy for this class. It's important that you think in terms of how do I get these things done, not what excuse can I make if I miss the deadline, or do you think this is a nice prof? Will she bend the rules for me? I would love to bend the rules for each and every one of you. Okay? I want you to know right here, right now, I am your biggest cheerleader. I really, truly care about this class and about you. If I didn't, I wouldn't be making this video right now. I do care. But here's the thing. If the policy says no work is to be turned in late, I am required to uphold that. And I want what's best for you. I want you to have a successful career. So I am going to uphold it. And also, I'm not going to make judgments whether student A should get an extension because his child was sick, while student B doesn't get an extension because she had to work late. You know, it puts me in a position where I have to judge, and I'm not going to do that. Every one of you is very, very busy. I get that. I remember when I was going to school, I worked full time, I went to school, I had 2 small children. I know how crazy your schedule can get. But that's why I'm going to uphold the late policy. So be aware of it. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I missed the deadline, what can I do? I want you to be thinking, oh look, here are my deadlines. How can I get them finished on time? What can I do? What proactive steps can I take? So to that end, when you go into our class, you look in the course menu, you'll see a start here. If you click on that and go to that section, you'll see our syllabus. You'll also see an assignment list. That will tell you all of the assignments that we are going to be doing, so you can actually get a start on them right away, or at least you can know they are coming up. Next thing you can do, every Friday, starting with this Friday, I will open the next modules folder. Okay, so we're in Module 1 right now. Module 2 doesn't start until next Monday. But on Friday, I will open Module 2's folder. That gives you all of the assignment details. If you want to be successful, plan ahead. This is true in all of life, not just this class. So what I recommend you do is over the weekend, you go through what's due during Module 2. Also keep in mind that the deadlines each week may be different. So in other words, it's not every week there's an assignment due on Friday, or every week the assignments are due on Sunday. That is not the case. We coordinate the online classes with the on-campus classes, so our deadlines follow their deadlines, which means that some weeks you may have an assignment due on Wednesday. Other weeks you may not have something due until Sunday, the last day of the week. So be aware of that and get a start on that. But please do not post discussion early. Discussion can only be done during the week that that discussion applies to. But as I said, the assignment folder will open on Friday, so start on that. Okay, we have some fabulous things that we're going to be doing in this class. We have reports, memos, resumes, an analysis of our social media. We have some great things coming up. This is a workplace communications class. So I will expect each and every one of those assignments to be in workplace format. Now, I know many of you have just come out of Composition 1 and 2. And you learned how to write essays, and you learned APA formats, and that is all wonderful. You learned how to do a thesis statement. Wonderful. Workplace communications are a little different. So I need to make you aware of that because these are the expectations for this class. Workplace communications. It's all about getting information, usable information, to a reader immediately because decisions have to be made. All right, when you write an essay, maybe you're writing it for informational purposes. Maybe you're writing it to be persuasive, but it's usually a leisurely context. In the workplace, you've got people who have an inbox that's full up to here, and they have 2,000 emails coming into their email box. They're getting, text messages every couple of minutes. They have meetings to attend. They have decisions to make. And it's your job to get information to them. How do you do that? Well, you're not going to do it by giving them this big, long essay. You're not going to do it by throwing large chunks of information at them and saying, well, they can figure it out. They aren't going to. Your job in the workplace is to chunk and organize. Present the material in a format that the workplace uses. So that means reports need to have headings. You should always have 3 main sections. An introductory section, so it'll say introduction. A body section. The body section can have different names. In this class, we're going to call it discussion. But it depends on the type of report and the company, what they label that. But in here, you've got introduction, you've got discussion, and then you've got conclusion. I will expect that anytime you write a report in this class, you will have those 3 headings. From there, you will use subheadings as needed. So whatever information you are trying to relay, you can put subheadings. Major headings are usually centered and in all caps. The subheadings will be to the left-hand margin. Now, there is, different types of headings, different levels of headings, depending on how complex your reports get. We're not going to be doing extremely complex reports, so all you really need to know right now are the major headings and the first level subheadings, which will go to the left. So you've got the major headings here and the subheadings here. And then you can use bullet points if it's applicable to help relay information. It's all about clarity. Another thing that is different is the statement of purpose, okay? In an essay, you were taught how to write a thesis statement. A thesis statement goes at the end of the introduction and it is not announced. So it's a little more artistic and creative, and it talks about what the document is about. A statement of purpose is very different than that. Because your reader in the workplace is very, very busy, a statement of purpose is very direct, and it usually comes as the first sentence, okay? And it can be as direct as, the purpose of this memo is, the purpose of this report is, the purpose of this email is, okay? It can be that direct. It doesn't have to be, but it can be, and that is pretty standard, all right? Now, a number of years ago, I read a study that said that 64% of executives said that if the first sentence of a memo or an email did not state the purpose, they didn't go on and read any further. 64%. You don't want to write an email that has vital information and have it not be read. You don't want to put your time and effort into a memo that has something really significant to say and have it not be read. So, have your statement of purpose. Use the right format. If you are unsure of the format, email me, which leads me to my next point, taking responsibility for this class. All right, you are paying for this class, and I am here to help you. I am your biggest cheerleader, and I really do care. So I'm here to help you, but I can't help you if I don't know you need help. All right, so don't be afraid to send me an email. Now, I do want to point out that our class contains lots of information, and I want to encourage you to make sure that you are reading things first. So in other words, don't email me and say, so what are we doing this week? It's in the module folder. Usually I put it in the weekly announcement. It's in the syllabus. You can see what we are doing this week. However, if your question is, oh, I see we're doing an audience profile and I don't really understand what that means, then email me. So first, check our class to make sure you've read the information, and then feel free to email me. Also, I am available for phone conferences. My office phone number is located in the faculty section of our class, but I would really appreciate it if you would email me first and say, I'd like to talk to you. Could I call you this afternoon, or could I call you at whatever time? The only reason I say that is because sometimes I have meetings, sometimes I am with other students, and I don't want to miss your phone call. So if I know it's coming ahead of time, I can plan for it and I can clear time away. So that's just really helpful. Also, I do have voicemail associated with my phone number, but I will tell you that, I would prefer you email me first and not leave a message. I do share my office with other people. So email me first and let's set something up. But I want you to know that I am available and I am here for you. Baker College asks that instructors respond to email within 24 hours. And I'm proud to say that other than on the weekends when I'm not in my office or work mode, I typically answer emails pretty quickly. Now, I'm in my office from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. I tell you that because I think it's important that students know exactly where I am during the workday, so you can count on when you can reach me. So 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can count on me being in the office, other than when I have meetings or whatnot. But those are my office hours. I am definitely online much sooner. As you probably note, the daily questions are usually posted somewhere around 6 a.m. because I do check into our class earlier. Sometimes I'm sitting at home in the evenings and I go into our class as well. So I am available a lot of hours. But I want you to plan on the 10 to 2 because if you need me desperately at 11 p.m., you're not going to get me. I'm sorry. At 11 p.m., I am in bed. So just think to yourself, if you're going to post in the evening, well, maybe if you're going to email me, maybe she'll get it tonight or maybe she won't get it till tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay? Now, on the weekends, I tend to check far less because I'm with my family and doing other things. So I check my email usually Saturday morning, and I'll do some posting Saturday morning. Sunday, at some point during the day, I will do some postings and check my email as well. But Monday through Friday, I tend to keep my email open almost all day. So just be aware of that because we have assignments that are due on Sunday. And if you wait until Sunday to begin the assignment and then you're confused and you're thinking, I don't know what to do here, you're not going to be able to reach me. But that brings me to the point earlier about planning ahead, being proactive. Please don't wait until the night an assignment is due to sit down and look at it and make sure you understand it. I get that you are busy. I get that. But I can't help you if you wait until 2 hours before it's due. Even if I am online, which occasionally I am, even if I'm online at say 10 p.m. at night and it's due at 11:59 p.m., I can get you the information. I can try to work with you, but we're running out of time. You're losing time there. You're not going to have time to talk to me and get your work done. So please do not wait until the last minute. And definitely do not wait until the weekend, even if the work is due on Saturday or Sunday. Please don't wait till then. I put in some very long days, Monday through Friday. So like you, I like to have my weekends off with my family. So just keep that in mind. And I'm telling you these things again because I really do care about my students and I want you to be a success. All right, one other thing I need to tell you about, and that is the group project we are going to be doing. Starting in Module 4 and going all the way till Module 8, you will be working in a small group. It could be anywhere from 2 to 6 people in the group, depending on how things shake out. You will find the groups by going to the course menu, clicking on Tools, and then clicking on Groups. When you do that, you should see a group that is underlined or highlighted, and that's your group. Now, I won't put you in a group until Module 3 because sometimes people drop, and I hate to put people in the groups in Module 1 and then have a bunch of them drop and have to rearrange things later. So in Module 3, I will put you in a group, and then in Module 4, you'll begin working in that group. The goal is to create a presentation. Now, do not think of this like, oh, I have a presentation to do and the prof has saddled me with a group of students. This is terrible. I wish I could just do it on my own. I'm not trying to see how well you can do a presentation. I am trying to see how well you are learning communication concepts. So I'm putting you into a situation where you have to communicate with other people if you're going to be a success. Occasionally, I will have students who will say, I just want to do this on my own, or it's not fair that I have to depend on other people for my grade. They miss the point. The point is, we're going to spend 4 weeks talking about ways to communicate, barriers to communication, technology and communication. And then in week 4, we're going to be able to actually start applying it because you're going to have to be working with people and overcoming barriers using technology. So that's the real point here. And if you work with your group and communicate with your group, you will create a stunning presentation. Most students tell me that that is their favorite part of the class. It's really cool that you get a chance to get to know your classmates in more depth. So we start in week 4, Module 4. I recommend that in Module 4, you elect a leader, you talk about the project, you come up with the details. You're going to notice that I haven't given you a lot of details. I've given you a topic, but I haven't given you all the details. That's because your group has to work that out. And whatever your group comes up with is fine with me. For example, you have to come up with a company. You want to talk about Walmart? That's fine. You want to talk about Marriott hotels? That's fine. It's just your group has to decide. So Module 4, your group decides on details. Module 5, divide up the work. Module 6, do the work and begin sharing it with one another. Module 7, start putting things together and creating the presentation as a whole and proofreading. Module 8, finalize things and submit. Now I'm going to tell you right now, each and every group member must submit a copy of the group project. It's not good enough that you tell me, well, I worked on it, I just forgot to submit it. You must submit a copy or you earn 0 credit. The reason for that is I do not want people signing into the project in, say, modules 4 and 5 and then leaving their group adrift for the rest of the modules and thinking that counts. Okay, you need to be a part of it from beginning to end. Now, if you do it right, if every week you do just these little pieces, I promise you it will not take a lot of time. It will not. It's just a little added thing. Most students tell me that when they stayed on schedule, it took them between 20 minutes and an hour every week to do what they needed to. And the hour was only when they were having to research and create their section. So that is the group project. I want to prepare you for it right now because it's a fabulous part of this class and your group needs you. So you cannot afford to not be signing in for a couple of weeks. You need to be active and checking in with your group. Now, along with the group project, you're going to be doing a journal for modules 4 through 8. The journal is just 2 paragraphs, memo format, and you're going to be telling me what you did that week for your group. Now, if your group didn't do anything, which it should, every week it should be doing something, but if it didn't, you still need to turn in a journal if you want to get points. You need to create that memo. So what you do is you talk about, well, I emailed so-and-so, and this is my role, and this is what I'm doing. You could also Google group work. You could tell me, I learned this week that to be a successful group, we need to do X, Y, and Z. I looked at our textbook, and our textbook says that group work is X, Y, and Z. Okay? So if you skip doing the memo each week, you miss 10 points. And that adds up quickly. I have had many students who would have gotten an A in the class, but they didn't do any of the journals, the memos, and it brought them down to just below an A. You don't want that. The journal is really easy. You pull up a memo template, you write 2 paragraphs about what your group is doing or what you've learned about group work, and you submit it. It only takes a few minutes, in all honesty. I don't grade them very harshly. Really, I just want you to be active with your group. So, there's that. Anything else that you need, please be empowered and ask me. We have a 411 forum where you can post questions. Anytime you have a question for me, you can put it in there. If you see someone has posted a question in there and I haven't gotten to it yet, but you know the answer, post the answer. We are a community. We support each other. We work together, and each and every one of us is empowered to help someone else in class. So be aware of that. It is not good enough for you to say, well, I shouldn't get a 0 on this assignment because I didn't understand it. Or I shouldn't get a 0 on this assignment because I didn't see when the due date was. Or I shouldn't have points taken off because I didn't know there was a rubric. It is your responsibility. So please get in there, get active, contact me if you need help. Oh, one final thing. Engagement, also known as participation. There was a day when online classes just counted. They counted numbers. Did you post 10 times? Did you post 15 times? They just counted. Now we look at quality of engagement. So I want to tell you how engagement works in my class, how I judge quality. First of all, you'll notice that every morning I go in and I post a question for you to think about. You can Google the answer. You can look in our textbook. You can draw off of your past experience. But I do expect you to have a fully developed paragraph when you respond to one of my questions. That means at least 5 sentences. Then I want you to engage in discussion with classmates. There again, that should be a fully developed paragraph, all right? 5 sentences. Can you just say to somebody a compliment? Sure, you can do that. But you can't just go through and do 100, good job, good job, good job, and think that that's engagement. It won't cut it. So how many days a week do you need to post? Well, my preference is at least 5. You cannot just sign in 1 day a week and give me 100 posts and think that's engagement. Engagement means that you are listening, that you are reading what everybody is saying, that you're thinking about it, that you're applying it to your life, you're drawing from our textbook. See, this is one area that I think is a big problem for people in general when it comes to online learning. People think online learning takes less time than the classroom, and that's not true. It takes the same amount of time as the classroom. It's just more flexible. So instead of sitting in a class for an hour, raising your hand and talking 3 days a week, instead you should be going into our class and reading my question, responding to it, and reading a classmate's response and responding to it. That's what I consider true engagement. When you are answering my question and talking to your classmates and developing it. You can go above and beyond that and compliment all kinds of people. That's fine. But you cannot simply have a stream of one sentence or one word responses, and you cannot simply wait until the last day of the module and go through and do 100 posts. Neither one of those is going to get you full credit. Full credit is going to be when you've shown that you've taken some time every day for, I would like to see 5 days. Just take a few minutes. Set aside some time to read the question, to think about it, to respond, and to respond to your classmates. So please do that, and I recommend that you start on day 1. Day 1 of every module, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. One question is going to be, look ahead at our week. What do you think is going to be most challenging? What are you looking forward to? So you're going to preview the week. I always have students do that because I want you to be thinking about what's ahead, what we're doing in this module. The second question is going to be looking backwards. So tell me what you learned from last week. What stood out to you? What challenges did you face? So that will be every Monday. You know it's there. So please sign in and get the conversation going. The other days of the week, the questions will vary. Some will deal with our readings. Some will deal with our assignments. Some might deal with things that you've brought up in your posts, and I'm going to be building on them because I think you brought up something really good. So that is how engagement will work. Start on day 1, please, and show me that you are actually thinking and listening and paying attention. All right, so this has gotten long enough. I just wanted to have this chance for you to meet me, to see that I am a flesh and blood person, that I am here, I'm excited about this class, and I will be giving you my all. And I'm asking you to give your best in our class as well. One last little thing just came to my mind. We have something called a writing center assignment in this class. I want to mention it right now. It is due on Wednesday of Module 7. Got it? Wednesday, Module 7. But I begin telling you about it in Module 1 because what this assignment is at some point, I want you to do one of our assignments in class and then turn it into the Writing Center to get feedback. Now, to get the most bang for your buck, I would recommend the final report, that you get it done early, that you send it to the Writing Center, get feedback, revise it, and then turn it in to me for a grade because it's worth a lot of points. But students often do other assignments, and that is fine as well. The only things you need to remember are, number 1, journals do not count. You cannot submit a journal because a journal is just 2 paragraphs talking about your group work. And you don't need feedback on that. Okay, it's a memo, but it's just 2 paragraphs. So that's number 1. Number 2 is it's due Wednesday of Module 7. You cannot wait until Module 7 to do the assignment because you need to give the Writing Center, I believe, 3 days. I'm pretty sure. Most students tell me they get it back within 24 hours. So it's not a big deal. But give them 3 days to review it and give yourself 1 or 2 days to do the revisions, put the assignment together, and submit it to me. Okay? So it's not an assignment you can wait until Module 7 to do, and it's intended to help you. It's intended to give you extra feedback on some assignment during this class. So in other words, you're helping yourself, and I'm giving you points for that. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You take an assignment, you submit it to the Writing Center. You get their feedback, you write me a memo, and you turn it all in. The memo tells me, well, you can see in the assignment directions, but basically the memo tells me what you learned, how the experience went. It's just a way to help you, again, become a better communicator. That's what this is all about. So thank you for listening to this whole video. I'm really excited to be working with you. I think we have a great class. We have wonderful people, and I'm all ready to go. Are you? So I will see you in class in the discussion boards. And remember, my door is always open. My goal is your success. I want this to be a very positive experience for everyone. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking this class, and I will see you in our discussion forum.